After graduating high school, I went to Thailand for 3 months, and my host family taught me this recipe, but it's since taken on a life of its own. It's great for getting rid of extra vegetables in your freezer, and we're moving, so that's exactly what I'm going to be doing. Okay, so it's a quick recipe. First, turn your oven to medium, and I'm gonna do 1/8 of a cup of olive oil, but that's just a heaping tablespoon. There you go. While that's heating up, we'll come over here. I'm gonna put some garlic in there, so just the flat part of your knife. This makes it easier to take off the peel of the garlic. Chop it up the best you can, but if it's in crude chunks, that won't make a difference. When we put it in the oil, it's gonna infuse, and it'll infuse either way. Yellow onions work really well in soup. We'll use half an onion. Same situation, chop it up the best you can, but crude chunks is fine, because in soup, everything comes together. You hear the oil behind me is starting to pop. Go ahead and throw this in there. Give it a mix. You want everything covered in the olive oil, so that gives it a chance to infuse. I'm gonna cut up some peppers and put them in there, and I don't always use gloves, but I do have them. If you don't have gloves, just wash your hands right after cutting, so you don't want any of those pepper juices to burn you. All right, so I have 3 jalapenos here. This one's going bad, so I'm just gonna cut that off. Cut them in half. And you can just get rid of the seeds. That's the spicy part. It's okay if there's a few seeds left over. Chop them up into small chunks. I like jalapeno in a soup like this because the coconut milk really evens out the spiciness. All right, so I'm just gonna go ahead and set them in here as well. The recipe in Thailand didn't have jalapeno, but it did have cayenne pepper. There's so few seeds in here, but you can go ahead and pull them out. Turn it down a little bit if it starts to smoke. You're gonna wanna saute all this for about 3-4 minutes. About a teaspoon of sesame oil. And then half a tablespoon of soy sauce. A little bit more than half a tablespoon. If you go to the grocery store, you can buy beef chunks like this. They're usually labeled as for stew. What you wanna do is get it really hot in the pan. All right. When working with hot temperatures, it's important to mix things around so they don't get burned. If it starts to smoke, turn down your temperature, or if it's really smoking, you can pull it right off. There's no rule that says you have to stay on the burner. Now add half a teaspoon of salt. You want to get that salt all over the meat. If you're adding peppers, it's gonna try not to breathe in the fumes. If you go to the grocery store and get your vegetable stock, be careful on which one you choose. They're not all equal. If you go to the Asian markets, I find that their vegetable stock is tastier. Stock up on this. We're gonna bring that to a simmer and prepare some of our other vegetables. I'm a big fan of cabbage in my soup. My mom always made cabbage soup, so now I make it. You want to chop the cabbage up, but it doesn't need to be finely diced, especially because this is one of those recipes that I like to just get done quickly. So about half of a cabbage will work. I have some bell peppers that I froze some time ago. I'm gonna add those as well. If you freeze your vegetables and dice them up, it's great. You can pull these out if you're making omelets or whatever. Grab a can of coconut milk. You'll notice that up here is where all the fat is, but if you get down there, look, there is liquid down there. You want to put this all in with the beef. I also have some frozen broccoli that I'm trying to get rid of. So you can put this on top, it'll heat up quicker. And the last ingredient I'm going to put in there is tomatoes. Because I'm cooking it for so long, you really don't want the tomatoes to be too small or they'll completely disintegrate. I'm going to keep them in fairly large chunks. Boil it for about 5 minutes and then we'll simmer it for an hour. I'm going to mix it up a few times during that 5-minute period. You want everything to cook evenly. While it's boiling for that 5-minute period, I'm going to leave the lid on. But when it starts to simmer, I'll take it off. This will give it a chance to thicken up. Better served on rice or quinoa. All right, 5 minutes are up. We'll go ahead and take the lid off. It's a raging boil. And we'll turn it down to low. Then just leave it like that for an hour. Watch an episode, keep an eye on it, but you can do whatever you want. A little taste test will tell us quite a bit. Makes it tender. I made some quinoa. Look at that, wow. That looks good. There's a foundation for it, but you can just put any vegetables in it.